Let's see who shows up. Hey, it took a second to get it set up, and I'm gonna actually, when Jared shows up, I'm gonna put him on, and I'm gonna step out.
Dang.
Hey, let me get this. You like it like that?
Man, it seemed like the quality was so much better on that last one, huh?
You know why? Because I paid $420 total for the pro version, so now I can do it in 1080p. Yeah, I mean, I figure that everybody threw that money at me. I was like, I may as well throw it back in the channel. So if you guys notice that there's been an improved quality of the video, it's because you guys bought the full Monty for the stuff, and that's why I can put. That's why it's on Apple iTunes, because I can download the audio and port it right over to Apple iTunes. I'm gonna try and get it on Spotify. Spotify wants
pay the monthly thing for StreamYard. You still pay monthly for StreamYard too?
I just paid annually.
Oh, okay.
Because I got paid out for last month's YouTube, and it goes into my, and I just dumped it right into my PayPal.
Yeah, I get it.
I reinvested it right into the channel. And I mean, because like, look, you got a background. I can't do this. Like, I was doing live feeds from my phone. Right. And it just wasn't fair. Like, people were paying me, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just throw
it. You have to reinvest the money. Yeah.
Exactly. And I mean, some of it was just little things like, oh, holy crap. That's, oh.
Hey, Jump Keys, thank you for the donation.
Jump Keys just paid for next month's StreamYard.
Yeah, I pay for the regular one, which is like, I think like $30 a month or something.
It's 20. It's 20. I pay 30. I got a discount. I got it for like 31 a month for the pro version. But hey, you guys, let's see here. You guys talk for a second. Like, you can answer whatever questions. You can see the comment section, right? You can see the scroll up.
Yeah, I can see everybody.
I got to start my wife's laundry, so she doesn't.
All right, guys. How many people we got in here? How many people came over here? It'd be awesome to see that everybody did. Okay, so we got 15. Definitely drop a like. So how's everybody doing tonight? What kind of topics should we talk about? Because me and him could go for hours just about anything. So it'd be nice for if you guys normally I don't like asking that. I really don't. I like to just come up. That's why, like, on mine, I write down about 20 or 30 things so that I can just keep it flowing, so that somebody else who watches later doesn't skip a beat. But more story time. I'm sure we got some stories. Sometimes I just, man, like, honestly, guys, and I don't, there's some stories I just don't even like to say, and sometimes I almost go into some, but you know, there is a level of which, you know, you're like, man, I don't want people to look at me like that or know that about me or stuff like that, you know. And it does, you know, you'd hate to affect the relationship, you know. And I'm saying from my perspective, not from Mike's, but I'd hate to affect my relationship with some of the viewers, you know, fucking saying some stories. But yeah, I love telling story time. I have no problem doing that. Got a Tucson TS229. Nice. That's awesome. I just sent Timbo's 229 back. I accidentally kept it. Cold Steel Spartan. That's a good knife. Just about anything Cold Steel, man. Cold Steel makes some solid knives. I don't have one though. Isn't that crazy? I do not have a Cold Steel knife. But if I did buy one, I really like that Finn Wolf. It's cheap too, but just because it's a great outdoors folder. But besides that, Code 4, man. Code 4 with the spear point blade. It's got that hollow grind. That such a good.
Hey, I'm back.
I wish, and I'm only saying this because it's such a good knife and such a good size, if it was slightly thicker. And I almost wish they do like a Code 4 2.0 with like micarta scales slightly contoured so that you could really get a good grip on it, because the geometry, the blade shape, all of this, even the tanto, that is the best tanto of any tanto, in my opinion, is like that.
Who is Duke?
Duke
said exactly Duke. I don't know what we're talking about.
So I asked them what they wanted to talk about, and they said they wanted some more stories, but we got some people wanting some knife talk too. The 226 is on the way. Fantastic hollow grind and ergos. Absolutely. That's why I like it so much, is because it has that nice hollow grind, whether it's the tanto or the drop point. I'm talking about the Code 4, the Cold Steel Code 4, Mike. Great knife from Cold Steel, man. It makes sense. It's one of those knives that just makes sense.
Oh, Sinister knife clips, Duke. I got you. I'll tell you what I want, and I'm honestly thinking about doing it. If I can find another one of these, I'm gonna reprofile the tip on one and just see if I can do it because
Chavez?
I love. Huh? Yeah, my Chavez,
Chavez,
because
yeah.
it cuts. It's so good here, but then it is just so thick,
robust in the tip.
Yeah, but like a lot of times that's where I'm cutting, and I'm like, it's like trying to cut with a.
I literally spoke about this the other day. I said the one problem with some dual grinds is that they'll do so thin behind the edge in the main grind, but then they'll go fucking crazy robust in the tip. And
well,
there's
it's
a
remote.
level of which it's like they don't need to go that thick. Like I said that about this one, right? This is a dual grind, but this is 15 thousandths and this is like 18 thousandths. So they didn't do like 15 and
hang on a second. I can measure it. I've got my calipers right over here. They sit on my coffee table.
Yeah, I bet you it's at least 30,000.
I bet my neighbors are like, over like, what the fuck is he doing?
What did you do all day?
Well, my garage door is completely wide open because it's still nice. 70, like even with it open and I've got a fan blowing and shit, it's still 79 degrees in the garage because I had the garage door closed all day because I was gone all day.
Hey Jake. Yeah, I'm down in the basement, so I'm nice and cool.
I'm in the garage. So behind the edge on
the tip.
I want to look at both. So behind in the hollow area.
Got a birthday coming up. My wife wants to get me high, and I thought you were gonna say wants to get me high. I was gonna say, what's the problem?
So behind the edge in the hollow is 0.017, which is not bad. Like that's kind of average. 0.0175.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great.
Behind the edge on the tip. 0.04.
Whoa, it's 40 thousandths. Holy shit.
0.
Yeah. See that, and that's what I'm talking about. That thick. You don't need nothing that thick. You know, that's not. I mean, that's gonna do everything.
I didn't zero that. Like I'm famous for not zeroing these. I'm sorry. 0.050. Holy
shit. Yeah, that's too much in my opinion for
no, I'm sorry. It's 0.04.
Yeah, that's too much.
It doesn't do much. I mean, but here's the thing. I had gotten used to thinner knives, but I look back and some of the other knives I have, like they're thick like that behind the edge.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's always going to be, but there's a difference though. Like, say if you have, let's just say 25 thousandths, right? But it's a tall grind and it's a full flat. Well, now you got the geometry, but
it's a wide grind.
If it's 30 thousandths and it's this tall, it's like this. I mean, what the fuck?
It's this wide. Knives aren't tall. Like how tall a knife is like you set it down and like it's that tall and you stand ouch.
Oregon knife guy asked because he says it's his birthday coming up. His wife's gonna get him a high-end production knife. He said Sebenza type money. He said he was thinking about getting a Sebenza. I think a Sebenza is a great buy because it's definitely gonna hold its value too. But you're thinking something sentimental because it's from your wife.
It will, but I'm gonna tell you something about because I love Sebenzas because I've had them for years. The first one I got was not $400, but then again, I got it when it was in BG1. Remember when they used to make them in BG1, the old classics? What they brought back as the classics was the old. Really, I'd had it for like 6-7 years when I started this channel, and then I sold it. I'd had it forever. It's before they even used S30V. It was like BG1 steel,
right?
Is that what it was? BG1?
Didn't they use 154 at one time or no?
They did. They've used so many different steels, but at any rate. The problem with getting Sebenza is if you've had one and you love them, they're great. But when you get a Sebenza, the first time you get a Sebenza, when you get your very first one and you get it in hand and you're like, I pay $425.
Not what you thought.
And you're like, why did I pay so much for this? And then you realize after you've had it for a while, like Sebenza's never one of those. Sebenza's never one of those out of the box stunners.
No, you don't open it up and go,
pow. You don't go bang these knives. You go.
No, you do one of these. You do one of these. You go like this. You go. And then you close it and you go. And you're like, what the fuck?
what did I buy? But after you've had it for a while, that's what I was gonna say. If you've never had a Sebenza, don't like.
No, it's a tight knife. It's made for long term. It's gonna last you a long time. The grind is really good. It's a working knife. That's why I always say that. It's a working
Hey mods, knife. We already got one. We got one coming in and throwing up all kinds of stuff. So
I would say if you're worried about
keep your eyes open for it.
If you're worried about action, I'd go React, something like that.
That's what I was gonna say. And here's the thing. Oregon Knife Guy, they have started making these again. Like I said, the best production knife I've ever owned. The React Horizon D. And that still stands. Like I did a video about it, the best production knife I've ever owned. And I mean, I have a lot of other knives, but if you want something that's going to like, if you want something that's going to have some like bang and wow out of the box.
Another really good one, the Slim Midi on bearings, because the Medford Slim Midi, because they do them on bearings now. The new one.
I actually, hey, Shums, I got him first. I think I blocked him first. I caught it first because I saw it.
What happened?
We had a guy coming in and he was dropping the N-word and all kinds of stuff.
Just now?
Yeah, I have all kinds of haters. You don't see that?
I wasn't looking.
It happens. So for you guys that don't know,
I'm not the only one who hates your face. Yeah,
no, it's not that. I actually had I had a stalker. I've got a guy that I've had to issue a do not contact order. There's another one that I've got in the works. I had somebody that came.
Stop giving out your address to everybody.
No, it's not that. So someone actually was on a live feed and saying they were going to make sure my daughter got raped on the playground and shit like that. And so it's just I talked to a couple other YouTubers and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, dude, you're going to get hate. Like if you say things that are not,
they get a lot of hate.
Like I'll say shit like I don't like Emerson knives, and to tell you the truth, I like Medford knives. But the fact is that Greg can be a bitchy little fucking puss.
No, but I've heard that.
Yeah, I mean, that's like I said it. I said it when I was talking with Adam Chavez. Adam is friends with Greg. I like Greg. He's Greg. I've never had a problem with Greg, but if you're going to go to a show and try and film at Greg Medford's table, you got to kind of feel it out. Like you want to see how he's treating the customer that's in line in front of you.
Yeah,
he's like,
I've heard that.
If he's treating them like they're a complete and utter piece of shit, then you're like, I guess we're not filming at Greg's table today.
Yeah, right. I get it.
I was at Blade Show West. I'll tell you a story. I was at Blade Show West and I was like, oh, go over. Greg's here. And so me and Nico were walking around the show and walk up. We're getting ready to walk up to Greg's table. And I was like, yeah, we can film at Greg's table. And Jeff is there. And I was like, we can talk about stuff. So I get ready to walk up. And as I was walking up, there's a group of obvious Marines that are just stoked to get to beat Greg Medford. Marine, knife maker, really kind of famous in a knife community. And they walk up and they're like, hey, we wanted to ask you a couple questions. He's like, I'm not here to answer your fucking questions. Either buy your knife or fucking go.
Whoa.
And I was like, way to go, Greg. And these guys were like, well, hey,
bud.
And as they were walking away, I hear Jason McCoy from Microtech is, come on over here, boys. I'll show you some knives.
Wow. Holy shit.
It's so when things aren't just going Greg's way, Greg,
you're not hungry no more when you act like that.
Well, no, it's not that. Greg
he's not.
Greg just has temper tantrums.
Oh, I understand, but when you're hungry, you fucking bury that shit. When you're hungry, my point is say if he had to save it or sell a knife to fucking save his life and his family and his food and shit like that, you're gonna.
Well, and then he's got another guy that works table with him named Jeff Geoff.
Yeah,
and he's a great dude.
He's and there's dude, right?
Yeah, he's the really tall, big dude. You've seen in a couple of my videos talk with him. And I was like, Jeff, you need to take his name tag and put it on your shirt and send him back to his fucking hotel room. And he goes, we're doing that right now. And so I come back later and no joke, Jeff has got his name tag and Greg's name tag, and Greg was gone.
Funny. That's
and there's been shows where I'll go up to the table and just Greg's just not there. It's just Jeff.
Yeah. I mean, I understand. Some people just aren't people.
It's not that. He's just he lets if a show's just not going his way, he lets it get in his way. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I like Greg. I talk to Greg pretty regularly. And I mean, it's just one of those hit and miss. And I'm like, I have PTSD, and I would hazard a guess that Greg has some PTSD that he's just never gotten taken care of, because that's one of the things that is like those explosive outbursts. And I still have them. Ask my wife.
So Riyadh is a very solid particularly specific designers. Nice. Liang Ma's are really good. They're very famous for being really good. A lot of people like them. A lot of people really love the Field Duty.
It's made by React.
Fuck. Well, yeah, I'm just saying he's which ones, which React. The ones I really like are the Liang Ma's.
I missed some of that. I'll tell you what.
The Horizon. So check them both out. See which one you like. You know, depends on the type of action you want. If you want a reverse flicker, I'd go with the Field Duty. If you want a flipper, go with the Horizon.
I'm going to show you guys something, and I don't like I want to talk about something because I've gotten the reputation for hating Spyderco, and it kind of is true, but it comes from a place like I say it all the time. I used to love some of the Spyderco knives. I still own a few Spydercos. I carry this on a regular. Like, this is my other shitty neighborhood knife. This is my left. If I'm going to a really crappy neighborhood, this is set up for left-hand carry. I carry this on my left side, and I'll carry the other one on the right. Yeah. But the problem I have with Spyderco is Sal did a really good job building a company, and he's kind of just like let go of the reins, and I just don't see a quality knife coming out that's like Benchmade as well. I don't see.
I love K390. They do a good job with the K390. I do like the K390, but I like the annexes.
Their heat treats are so spotty at best, and it's hard to guarantee. Like, I'm not gonna roll my dice with my cash.
I mean, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. The last couple dozen, I want to say, aside from the old ones, because I have sharpened some old ones that were no good with the heat treat, but the last dozen or so that I've sharpened with K390, Crewwear, Maximet, they were all good. But they were new, new, you know. But yeah, I know what you mean, because I sharpened one the other week.
It's not even just the heat treat.
It was bad.
The lock bars don't line up. There's blade play. By the time you get rid of the blade play, there's no action.
The managers are solid though, man.
Yeah, but I mean, that's that ball lock. That is the only thing that Spyderco has that I like. Except I like the compression like a ball lock.
With it. I don't know why they don't.
Because they're stupid.
So good. This is such a genius lock. Make it with a titanium cage or steel cage, whatever. I don't give a shit. But
it's probably really expensive, to tell you the truth. It's probably an expensive lock.
But they made a lightweight, a G10 one. They made an XL one. They made a bunch of different ones, but they never made any other knife but the Manix. I guess they did do other ball locks, but not with the cage. I'm specifically talking about the cage, where they have the ball with the cage. They made other ball locks, but then you have to squeeze your fingers in there and get that ball, which is the dumbest thing I ever seen.
It's both of them, Jeremy. And I group Benchmade and Spyderco together, and there's a reason. It's because for a long time I had them. I loved them. They were great knives. And then I've just seen quality go down and price continue to go up. And like I said the other day, if you're going to reblade a knife, a Benchmade's the way to go, because if your tolerances are a little off in your surface grinding and there's blade play, it's not like they're going to notice, because that knife came with blade play.
There we go.
What happened? Did you get out of focus?
Yeah, it's fucking.
Where's your wife? I was hoping your wife was going to be on.
She's in bed now.
What?
Yeah.
That's right. You're 2 hours ahead of me.
Yeah. And she has to work in the morning. She runs the Starbucks store, so she has to be there early.
I told my wife, and she was really pissy about it, because I don't know. She's just she's married to me. I can't blame her. I mean, can you imagine being married to me for 19 fucking years?
I mean, at least you're attempting to cover your face,
right? I guarantee that, she lays in bed and looks at me. She's like, I guarantee I could kill him and no one ever know. No one would know. I don't think that woman's ever thought of suicide or a divorce, but she's definitely thought of homicide.
Hilarious.
Where are you going, Jake? If you guys hang on a second, I have something I wanted to show you that came out. It came in, and it's really, really cool. It's right behind me. People are like, how come you keep your pew in the garage? And I'm like, because at any given time I've got $17,000 worth of knives in my garage.
He keeps his garage door open when he's doing lives.
That's because it's still 76 degrees tonight, and I don't have air conditioning. Hang on a second. I had something I wanted to show you guys.
I still like when I close garage doors, like when I go in places, like even here or whatever, I always make sure they shut all the way. And I'll just tell you guys why. Because there used to be this like I'm gonna say trick, right, back in the day. And you guys should know this, especially if you live in colder areas. So, you know, you go outside and you start your car in your garage, right? What do? You open up your garage because you don't want the fumes smog, you know, fogging up the garage. So you open it up, whether it's a little bit or all the way, right? Well, people will sneak in, right, into your garage while it's open, while you're still in your house warming your car up, and they'll hide in your garage. And then when you go to leave, they're already in your fucking house. So just a little tip when you know, even when you go in, like say you pull in your garage, you know, you pulled in and you shut your garage. Sometimes, like if you just shut it and walk in the door and you're just letting it shut while you go in the door, people will literally walk in your garage.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure I took my headphones off. It's just,
okay.
They're driving me nuts, and we're not.
I should have pretended like I couldn't.
Dick. So this 940 came in, and this has been rebladed by transparent knives.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get that dude to maybe talk to me about. This is a very, very well done. I've seen reblades, and I haven't liked a lot of it. This one is nuts. Mm-hmm. It is super thin behind. Like I sharpened this, and I'm like, oh my god! Like I felt bad charging the guy what I charged him for sharpening it, and I gave him the summer sale price, and I'm like,
because it's so
there wasn't enough work in that.
Yeah, I had one at like 8-9 thousandths behind the edge. It was stupid thin, and it was really good. Like the whole thing was good. The blade matched up so good. It was rock solid, surprisingly done well. He has a couple different blade shapes too.
0.008.
There you
behind
go.
the edge.
Yeah, that was the same way.
It's like legend has it that behind the edge it doesn't exist.
Right.
That thing is stupid. It's transparent blades. I'm trying to get a hold of the dude. I left him a DM.
Yeah, transparent blades.
Yeah, transparent knives or transparent blades.
Yeah, transparent knives. Yeah.
I was
you
like,
can find them on Instagram.
Sick. I mean, I'm not in the market for reblade on my 940 because I mean, I like the 940 for what it is, but like, holy crap. And I'm not gonna lie. There's, like I said, there's a little bit of blade play, but I'm not gonna blame him because it probably had blade play to begin with because
that's true. That's true. The one I had was solid, super solid, but you can find him if you go on Instagram. He does like 2 or 3 different blade shapes. That's one of them. Then he does like a regular drop point and then like a regular 940 blade, but it's tall though. It's like a tall 940 blade, and it's fucking stupid thin.
Guys, there's a washer running behind me. If it gets too loud, let me know and I'll put the headphones back on. But
don't even hear it.
Like I said, it's hot.
I don't hear it at all.
Just those things are hot. Are any buck knives good? I like buck knives, Ken.
Yeah, me too.
Buck still does a really good job. Now I will say, and people are like, oh, don't you like
the washer? I'll be right back.
Yeah, I thought you liked Chinese made knives, Mike. I don't like their Chinese offshore stuff as much as I like their U.S. made stuff. Buck knives, U.S. made stuff is always like, it's on the money. And one of you guys that wants to remain anonymous has, I just like Richie, I like bashing on Benchmade because Benchmade used to be the top tier. So you've never been in one of my things, so I'll let you. Benchmade used to be top tier. When I first joined the military, like there weren't any real good knives out there. Like you just carried some pocket knives. You got a Spyderco occasionally. But then Benchmade, they used to be Pacific Cutlery, and then they switched to Benchmade, and they were great. They were the best knives out there. And I had a Benchmade and I lost it. And I was like, wow, that was a lot of money. And that I just threw away because it fell off the side of a ship, but they were great and they were awesome. And so my disgust with Benchmade comes from the fact that they used to be the top tier. Like if you're a military guy, you carried a Benchmade. That was top tier. That was top of the line. And now their quality has dropped and dropped and dropped, but their prices keep going up and up and up. And it just upsets me. Now, I honestly, I don't own any other Benchmade besides this one, and this was a gift, and I love it. And this is another thing, like it goes with like my logo being my initials in my father's handwriting on my knives. It's like Osborne's dead, and he lives on through this, and it's just one of those cool things. I like the Osborne designs. This is a really good knife. I wish it was ground a little bit thinner. This would really be a knife that did well with a hollow, but it's just one of those things that, like, I love this design, but looking at the quality of Benchmade, I couldn't justify $180 for a knife. Now this one has been all frankened out. I did black ceramic on the handles. That's an S90V blade instead of an S30V blade. This is a Franken knife. I do not like the bug out. I don't like the bug out.
I gotta switch mine back to the regular carbon fiber scale.
You got to put that back on, because guess what? You bought Flytanium scales and none of the holes lined up, did they?
No, they lined up. The pivot fucking doesn't fit though.
I know. Like it's something.
But I got other Flytanium scales that were great, but these ones no.
You got Flytanium scales before they sold themselves to someone else. I don't know who owns them.
I don't know either. I don't know.
So
my Manic went good. I mean, I got a bunch of different scales from different companies, and this one, man, it fit fine, but they sent me new hardware all the way around. The only part they didn't send me was a new pivot, and that's the thing that doesn't fit. I mean, it fits, but it's just when I go like this, I can feel it moving, right? I can feel it actually moving. So I'm going to throw my carbon, because my carbon fiber ones were solid. It was.
There was fruit flies in the bottom of that.
Protein.
More meat for the meat eater.
Yeah, I am going
to drop this garage door down just a little bit. I'll tell you, if you guys want aftermarket scales, and I wish Chris was here to talk about it.
RC Blade Works.
No, screw
they
him.
do really good ones.
If you have a Spyderco and you can catch Chris from Cerberus Knives when he does a drop.
Who?
Cerberus Knives.
Cerberus. Oh.
He has done literally hundreds of runs of sets and only had 2 scales come back because they didn't fit, because he took the time to figure out the plus minus. So what he did was he got a bunch of Spydercos. They just did a giveaway on Ember Shirt Co of one of those. But he took a bunch of Spyderco, and what he did was, so he bought Spyderco after Spyderco after Spyderco after Spyderco, and he figured the plus and minus. So he's like, okay, what's the plus and minus on these scales? And he figured that into his machining for those scales that he makes. So the plus and minus across an average of Spyderco knives, he's managed to only have 2 sets come back because they didn't fit. He's literally made hundreds of sets of scales.
You said a USMC fighter they gave away?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, that's what. Remember when I kept talking about, if you follow my the old affiliate link, that was my the one for entered you into the giveaway.
Huh.
That is a badass knife.
I got a chip in the tip.
Hang on a second. I'm gonna close this garage door a little bit.
You know,
Parkway.
what do you guys think about the Socoms?
Oh man, they got to bring back the Delta.
What do you think about the Socoms, though?
I've always liked them.
I know.
I couldn't ever justify buying one, but I've always, anytime any one of them came in, I mean, I had so many knives that were so similar that it just didn't make sense. And that's another thing.
Really? Like, I don't think I've ever had a knife that was similar to this.
I've had so many knives that were similar. I don't have one now, so I probably would get one, but they don't make them.
Well, they do. They make them. They just sell out right away. They just had some on Knife Center. I think they're probably gone now.
But the fact is, I've got so many knives that I just don't carry anymore. Like I really don't. I look at this case of knives and I'm like, oh, I want to carry this. I want to carry that, because I don't know.
I tell you though, but if you want to, if the knife channel like a job, you got to keep getting new knives. You gotta.
I know.
Invest in knives. Like I literally, and the thing is at the end of the year, you can write them off.
Well, yeah, I mean, but I don't have funds to do it right now. That's why I
I'm just
appreciate you
saying, like,
sending
when you do, you know.
That's why I like the fact that you send me shit, because it's great. Because
no, I have no problem. I'll keep sending you shit. This one though, man, 204p, nice and big. And one thing I really like, you know how you always talk about the deep carry clips, you know, irritating your hand. The clip is, you know, obviously tip up, but it's flat. So when you put it in your hand, it's almost like holding a fixed blade.
Yeah,
it's really nice.
I've had one, and Ken, I actually am that's probably going to be my next knife purchase. Is a buck 110. Right about the time I buy a brazen, I just have to get rid of a couple things.
I try to, like, with any knives I invest in, like I bought this one, okay, and this is an older model, right? Not an older model, but you know, it's not brand new. Yeah. But I try to watch out for new knives that are coming out that are just dropping, because I try to think of them specifically for the channel for review. That's what I try to think of them. What do you think about the 8015?
Okay, so I'm not a super big fan of the Scorpion lock, but the fact is, it is a good knife. It's a solid knife. Yeah. I just don't like that back strap lock as much as I like the Shark lock on the 8020. It's a good knife and it's a good design. I'm not as big a fan of it as I am the Shark lock.
Right.
I'll tell you what I have that I'm proud, and I hate to do it, but the guy told me it's cool. I am probably, as much as I love it, I'm probably going to wind up getting rid of this. As much as I've always wanted one, I just never carry this, and it just seems unfair.
Yeah, if you don't carry it.
Yeah, it just seems unfair to have something like this heritage.
I like to have knives, even if I don't carry them, have them around for like video.
But like when I look at the fact, like, even though that this was a gift, but the guy told me, he's like, hey, if you want to sell it, sell it.
How much are they?
I don't know. They're like two. I guarantee I get 2-3 out of it, because this is the two-tone ceramic coated auto push button auto, and it still has the H clip, which they don't do the H clips anymore.
Why don't you like Shamans? I would think you would.
Say again.
Why don't you like Shamans? I know you don't like Spyderco, but specifically the Shaman.
I don't like.
Fucking damn good knife.
Okay, so I like the ergos. Okay. For as much as I bitch about Spyderco has some of the sickest ergos. That one just didn't feel like.
Really? I like it. It's so comfortable.
But, okay, but I say that, but like I say I like Spyderco, but there's only one family of Spyderco that I like, and that's the Endura series. I like the Endura. I like the Elite. I like the Delica. I like the and I don't like any of the way the other Spydercos feel. The paramilitary's okay. And the only thing I wish that they would make this knife, the Matriarch 2. I wish they would make this with the compression lock.
Right.
But I like the Enduras. That's it. Like, I like the handles on the Enduras. I like the ergos on the Enduras. They just feel. It's not. I mean, it's almost like you don't even have to think. Like, how's it feel in my hand? How does it fit? Shit. Lights and everything. They executed somebody upstairs. The lights even went out. Oh, I forgot. I have to do something. I have to turn my daughter's Roku back on the Wi-Fi again. I blocked it because her Roku. I don't know why.
Anything by Microtech? Yeah, I love the Socom. I got a mini Socom auto. They don't make those no more. Mine's a 99. But yeah, I love the Socom. I'm not a big fan of the OTFs or anything like that, but I was
going to tell you, like, I have one that I think is the perfect. Previously connected. There we go. I have to turn my daughter's Roku back on. I paused it because it was using up bandwidth that I needed to do two things at once.
That's about as solid as a knife gets.
Now, see, I'm usually not a big fan of OTFs. I really am not, but I'll tell you, I got this one at Blade West 2019.
Yeah.
And this is the 25th. This is the Blade West exclusive. And this is the Spartan. I don't care so much for the Spartan blade. I do like it, but I wish I had a different blade shape. But this is the one that was, this was the Blade Show West exclusive. But what I was going to say is this is a UTX 85 compared to an actual Ultratech, and it is significantly smaller. I like the Ultratech, but it's just too big.
Ken, are you asking about the Socom or are you talking about the UTX? Because the Socom, I think both of them would be a good, like if you want a self-defense knife, this is definitely really good. It's really robust though, and it's definitely more of a poker than a slasher, but.
I would never recommend an OTF for self-defense.
A poker as a poker.
No, and I'll show you why.
Why is it going to fail? I watched somebody hammer one through. Oh yeah, after it's deployed though. But yeah, I know what you mean. You don't want
the most important part of a weapon is being able to do it for use.
I agree.
That's why I don't. If I was going to have
I don't give a fuck.
If I was going to carry an auto for any form of self-defense, I will show you what I would carry.
A side opening one.
It's going to be a side opener. Yeah. Because if I'm trying to get it and I bump up against something and then the object moves out of the way, it's going to lock itself back out.
Yeah. I know you've tried one of these. So the React K2.
Yeah, I had one for a while and I sold it.
Nice knives, man.
I had it for a while, and actually that was part of a trade I made with a guy.
These things are selling for a lot of money now. Too bad you didn't hang.
Yeah, I know.
These things are going. I see people money for this all the time.
I had done a complete refurbish and refinish and some embellishments on mine. I did like some two-tone shit.
Yeah.
And I had
got the katana look.
Yeah, I had done some stuff kind of like that. I think I sold mine for $475. I didn't do a trade. I sold that.
Yeah.
The trade I made was with the
Do you know what this is?
God, it looks familiar.
Not too many people do. It's a custom. USA.
I've seen it. I just can't think of it.
Quest Custom. It's the called but they don't they used to make knives and then sell them. Now they're like just doing like one by one order knives. So you rarely see them. It's a nice size.
I was looking at it and I was like, I know it, and I just couldn't put my finger on that. What are you doing, Jared? That is horrible for your lungs.
What? Breathing?
Vaping.
Better than what I was doing.
What are you talking about? The devil's dandruff?
Devil everything. Shit. I'm gonna grab some budget knives.
Yeah, I've got a hand. That's what I was gonna say. Like, I have actually got an entire part of my knife case now that is dedicated to some really, really good budget knives.
Yeah, I got some really good ones. I want to get your opinion on. So I know you're not a huge fan. Well, it's not that you're not a huge fan. You just, I know where you're at and everything with 3V. But
I mean, if 3V is done,
if it's coded, right? This ain't coded, so
yeah, I would say it's a tendency to rust real easy.
It's been fine for me, but I don't have to worry about it really where I'm at. But it's the Mini Critical, so it's a CK what is it? CK Knives design from Kaiser. It's got micarta and 3V, but you can get these for $100.
I mean, I like 3V. If you coat 3V, 4V, it's good. It's so good. It's impact resistant.
Yeah.
Takes a sick edge.
Especially for a fixed blade.
Yeah.
For a fixed blade, 3V's like the way to go. This, I'm not sure because, the blade shape, it's more of a utility cutter. I don't know if 3V is the best way to go, but it's still 3V. And, 3V holds an edge like about as good as like S30V.
Yeah. And I mean, S30V actually holds an edge really well. My problem with S30V has always been it chips.
I don't really have an issue too bad with it chipping, but I think it holds an edge better than S35. But S35 is so much tougher, so you don't have to worry about the chipping if you're having chipping issues.
Well, here's the thing. You know what I would rather have than either one is S90.
Yeah, me too. Hands down.
S90. Now, I was going to tell you guys about a knife, and I honestly, I was really conflicted about doing this as a giveaway.
Did you like
I
it?
have to say this was one of the surprises. I had a Krag that I did a giveaway, and it had the recoil lock, and it was almost like an Axis lock. And Axis locks aren't great for flippers. They're really not. They just don't have the detent. And then I got this one from Russell, and it's the carbon fiber Amazon exclusive. And this is the giveaway for, like I said, this is the giveaway for the baseline and premium tier members. I almost didn't want to give this away, but I was like, it's just sitting in my case. I've actually not used it enough. It still has the factory edge on it.
Oh, nice.
This is a really nice. I really like this knife. This is another budget. These are like 40 or 50 bucks.
Well, we were talking about Kubis earlier, right?
Yeah, that one you sent me is awesome.
Here, check this out. The Kubi Carve. It's got a Tonto, 2 flat grinds, but if you look, it's almost like a drop point Tonto with a beautiful choil, finger choil, and sharpening choil. But yeah, nice and comfortable. It has a deep carry clip, but if you look at how it is, it's not like a typical deep carry clip. So it's nice and comfortable in the hand.
Well, did you see my video about the Elementum?
Yes, I did. I was surprised you were okay.
That is honestly, like, I despise deep carry pocket clips. I really, really hate them. But on that knife, it wasn't horrible. So what happened was, I was like, you and I talked about it, and you're like, well, just review the knife and then talk about like the lock separate. And I was like, okay. And I started carrying it. What I realized was that knife, that pocket clip, that deep carry pocket clip, the way that knife is shaped, it's not a hot spot. It doesn't bother me. That knife, it doesn't bother me at all on that.
I said the same thing.
I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
I was like, what I realized was, like, how your pocket, you've got back towards the seam where you usually carry your knife, and then up forward where some people put a flashlight or something. Well, with a knife that has a deep carry pocket clip, if it's comfortable in my hand, I won't shy away from carrying it. And I started putting that in my pocket, and I would slide it all the way forward. And when you would, because usually what happens is you get in a car or something, and that forward knife starts digging into your waist, especially.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah,
because I'm old and fat. I'm old and fat. I'm almost 50. It starts to bother you. And that didn't bother me at all, and I was kind of surprised.
This one right here is one I want to send you. This is the Kaiser Lamb. It's got a dual grind, flat, and then a hollow right here, nice and thin behind the edge. It's drop point blade. The Kaiser Lamb. This is hands down the smoothest knife you'll probably ever feel in your life. I mean, it is a fucking guillotine. But
that's the one you told me. That's the one you told me you were going to send.
Yeah,
and then you're like, oh, I should have sent that. And I think you said you forgot to put it in the box.
Yeah, I did. And it's also got a fuller 4 reverse flicking. It's not the easiest to access, but you could do it. But micarta, frag pattern micarta, and this pocket clip you can adjust. You can okay, here. If you look at the 3 holes on the side, so you can choose to have it lower or higher. So I don't know how that would be with your hand.
I like that.
Yeah, so you can adjust how high you have it, which is really good. This is another one I want to send you. This is all thumb stud action, but very smooth again. You see
that's the beg letter too, right?
Yeah, but on the bearings, it's completely different than the one. I
had the beg letter before. Guys, once again, I've put it down there. If you've got friends that are military, I forgot to throw it back up.
This one I think you'll like better than the first one. I do, hands down.
I like a really different knife. Bro, I liked the first one. And you were telling me, you're like, oh, the action, and you showed me, and I was like, I'm sold.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally like, it's hard to beat this type of thumb stud action. It's like the Rhea. It's like the Rhea. Like,
yeah, that's what you're saying. Like, it doesn't,
you break that detent and it's out.
It's just gone. It's like almost like I actually had someone ask me, like, I handed them my Rhea, and they were like, I was like, hey man, you got a knife? I just need to cut something. I handed it to them, and they're like, wow, is that
assisted? Yeah.
And I was like, no. I was like, close it. And he goes, there's no spring in that. And I was like, no. And he was like,
no.
He's like,
that's the way this is.
Bang.
That's the way this is for sure. Like, it's as soon as you break the detent, even with the reverse flick, as soon as you break the detent, because look how smooth it is. I mean, it's so smooth that once you break the detent, it's impossible for it not to open. So I think that's one you'll really like.
There we go. That's what we should have.
That's hilarious. Lefty is selling his for $400 if you want. If you want an ever
Selling his what?
price, I don't know.
What are we talking about, Josh?
I don't know. I was very disappointed that you didn't like this knife.
No, I did like that knife.
You hated it.
No, I didn't.
You might
got
not.
it got a good review.
Now
I liked it. I liked every. I liked it a lot.
You said it had play. I think it's flex because the blade is so thin. Like if I show you right now, I can literally.
That makes sense. It could be.
But it's so thin. This thing
is
a destroyer. I mean, it's so thin. Like cutting cardboard.
That knife got a really good review, and then got referenced with another knife that has the big flipper aperture. I do believe.
I love this thing.
I do believe I talked about it in one of the videos, either the Riffle or that Kaiser Cryo. I said it reminded me of that without the thumb stud, the floating thumb stud.
Yeah.
I like that. That knife got a really good review actually.
It's big. That's the thing is it's big. It's like a 9-inch knife. So you have so much grip.
But I said it, even though it's big, it carries really, really easily.
Yeah. It's thin. So like it has that perfect height to where it can be thin, where it feels good in the hand. And the blade, it's already super thin, the blade grind. Then it's a deep hollow. It gets down to 15 thousandths behind the edge. Super thin, beautiful choil. But this geometry though, and then this D2. Civivi does a fantastic job with their D2. Every time somebody asks me who does a good job with their D2, Civivi.
Do you know what?
Civivi every time. They do a good job.
Do you know who actually I think does D2 better? I honestly say there's one company that I can say does D2 better.
Who?
Artisan. Artisan's Artisan's D2 is on point.
I don't think I don't think I've had any.
I wish they'd do more coated. Like if they're gonna do D2, I wish they would do more coated blades in D2. Now that they're doing PVD, honestly, I've had several Artisan knives in D2 and they're great. And I think they're using the same heat treat facility that QSP used because they're like right in the same area. And like I said, this is up there with some of the best D2.
That's the way I feel about this one.
I mean, it might be.
This is nasty sharp, man.
Right? It's like nasty.
This thing right now, just me touching it, like I'm scared to touch it.
That's what I was going to say. You're like, I don't want to touch that too much.
Yeah. It bites you. Like just touching it, my skin cells are all over the edge now. Just barely touching it. And that's only a 600 grit edge. So, but that's the way D2 is. D2 loves a medium grit, man.
Yeah. Well, I think this is another knife that I'm really liking the stop at about 600 grit and then finish it on that Spyderco ceramic ultrafine. Did you try that on the S35 VM?
No, I still need to. I just talked about it actually that I'm going to do that because that's I definitely want to try that.
Because that's how I did my Sebenza, and I was having probably because I like to take it. But I like to have that aesthetic. This is actually only a 600 grit edge with not being finished on it.
I love it. Just a regular fucking 600 grit edge, strop done. Like this one, man. I'm telling you, man.
Usually I'll finish this on that ultrafine. I'll finish it on that ultrafine ceramic, and it's just nasty. You're like, it actually is. I find that sometimes it just feels more aggressive, even like it was before. When when you take it off of the ultrafine, I'm like, why does that feel more aggressive at a higher grit? Like, why does that stupid like that? That's dangerous?
Yeah. Well, some steels, the grinds, edges, everything, but the some of the steels, man, like D2, a medium grit is just where it wants to be. Once you get past a certain grit, it's just it's just getting duller.
Well, a lot of times sometimes I think it's not so much the steel, it's the combination of stones. Like I said, I've never had a knife, and I kind of forgot. I put that ultrafine, the big ultrafine that's in the leather slip. I put it away for a while, and I like it because it was in the way, and I didn't use it, and I was like, and I kind of forgot, and then I pulled it out. And I started just like doing and I was like, I'll just finish it on an ultrafine, and I'm like, oh my god, that is frightening.
Yeah, I did one not that long ago on my ultrafine. It was the same way, and I was surprised how sharp it got. My only problem is that, and it might have just been those couple knives I did. I did a couple, and I finished. I did, I don't know, probably the 600, 800 grit, and then I finished on a ceramic, and it was scary sharp, but it seemed like my edge was fret, and it could have been those knives. But it just seemed like the edge was kind of fragile. Like I was finding little tiny I not chips, but yeah, almost like it was just wearing out pretty quick.
Okay, so
it could have been the steel.
After you take it, do you have the leather slip for your ultrafine ceramic? Okay, so
I got the plastic case.
Hang on a second. I'll go get mine. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's right here. Luckily, we're in my workshop. So every time I use this stone, can you see?
Yep.
Every time I use this stone, and it gets used a lot.
Yeah.
Every time I use it, so this thing has a tendency, for some reason, no matter how hard you try, it's going to form a little tiny burr. And if you don't knock it off on something, so what I do every time I finish, I do like I said, I did a couple of your knives that I did, and then I just put this back in, and I don't even use compound on it. I just run it a couple times. I run it a couple times on the suede side, and then I run a couple passes on the and I mean, it's been used enough. There's a shiny spot on it.
Yeah, I can see it.
I run a couple passes on both sides of this, and I don't seem to have that. If I don't do that, the first time I cut, it just feels like that, like it's like, because it's still got a little bit, almost like a wire.
Like a wire.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a wire breaking or something.
Yeah, and if you do that, I don't seem to have the problems. If you don't do that, it sucks.
Yeah, sometimes I like.
I have not sharpened. I have not actually. This knife actually gets used a lot. I have not sharpened this knife in months. The only thing I do with it is
mine either. I don't know where I put it, but mine either. My S90V, fuck man, I had a couple little nicks in it. Don't get me wrong, but it deserves those nicks because I have not sharpened it in a long time. But do you ever say instead of
here, like this, I just put the stone back in and I just give it a couple passes. That's all you need to do.
Do you ever say sharpen on whatever stones, right? Then take your ceramic, not finish on it or anything like that, but just knock the burr off with it. You ever do that?
But I just do a couple passes. That's how
it reveals such a good edge. Sorry.
This thing is stupid sharp. And all I've done with it lately is just like every once in a while, just one pass. And
yeah. I tell everybody, get I don't care if it's a plate, if it's a little stone, if it's a little pebble stone, a rod, get a ceramic something, a rod, plate, whatever, and a strop. You can keep your edges going for a long time, but also off the stone, you can use it to deburr. It's so useful. It's one of the most useful things, especially like in the kitchen. I'm sure you do that with your kitchen knives, right?
The best, like if you're using that actual metal rod, the steel that came with your kitchen knives,
break it over your knee, get rid of it.
But what I got was, and it's in the drawer in our, everybody has that one drawer where like all the weird shit that doesn't fit in.
The drawer.
It's not silverware, it's not tongs, it's all the weird crap that you've got in your kitchen. So you'll find like the deepest drawer so it doesn't catch because it's always like weird size stuff. My ceramic rod, I bought a 12-inch ceramic.
That's what I got too.
From Edge Pro. They have the best kitchen ceramic rods. It's got a nice wooden handle. It's got a rubber stopper on the end so that if you're not the guy that can use the steel like this, you can set it on the counter on that rubber stopper and go on each side of it. Possibly the nicest one, and it's about 3,000 grit, which is just and so instead of like a kitchen steel where you're just like wrecking that edge, you're just screwing it all up. You're actually using an abrasive, a proper abrasive, like an actual stone, and it just gives you a real quick touch up.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I got a 12-inch one. It's got a rubber handle, but I use it for so much. I love that thing. It's one of the most valuable things I think you could having knives is one of those. And a strop, obviously.
Especially if you've got recurves.
Right.
Because you can touch up. This gets touched up on that little kitchen ceramic. Don't think it doesn't. It's nasty.
Right.
I took this. So I helped my buddy Tino put a Gobi roof rack, like a 300-pound roof rack and ladder on his 4Runner. He goes out in the desert and he stores all kinds of stuff up on top. And so this thing came wrapped with like saran wrap kind of stuff, like you know how stuff gets sent to the job site where it's just wrapped in plastic wrap. Yeah. And he's got a knife. He's got a knife I sharpened for him, and it's a nice sharp knife. And he's like struggling with it. And I was like, "Hey Tino, watch this." And I pulled this out and I just touched it and went like this and cut around. He was like, "It looks like it's melting it." He's like, I was like, "You want to borrow it?" And he goes, "No, I don't even want to touch that. I don't even want to touch that thing."
Yeah, I have a guy at work. He's an elderly gentleman. He's like on his last leg, and he don't even go near my knives. Like, he always asks me, "Hey, can you cut this?" Right? But since he's at that age where anything can kill him, he doesn't even want to go near my edges.
Dude, is your Wi-Fi acting up? Because you keep freezing up. I don't know.
Am I?
Yeah. How is it for? Oh shit! I didn't want to do that.
Hold on.
You keep freezing up and then popping back, unless it's just me.
Maybe it's because we've been on for a long time, so I don't know.
Yeah. So, well, guys, I don't think I'm gonna. I mean, we'll stick around till I finish this, but
all right.
Well, Jared's fine. I guess maybe it's just on my side, but like I said, like I'm sending a signal to fucking space to you, and you're sending it back to me.
Yeah.
Are you drinking Red Bull at fucking midnight?
I am.
What's wrong?
It don't do anything for me. I just like the taste. It don't get me pumped up. I mean, it does, like if I'm drinking them during the day in the morning or whatever.
Dude,
I'm more drinking it because it's already opened, and now I'm gonna fucking finish it. I'm not gonna let it waste.
Dude, I used to be in the office, and the kids, I'd come to work drinking a thermos of coffee, like one of these full of coffee, and I have that, and then I'd have two of the great big monsters, like the twist top monster. I drink two of those.
I'll drink a coffee tonight before I go to bed. I do it every night.
And they'd be like, yeah, I literally will drink a cup of coffee and go straight to bed.
Yeah, me too.
Because I don't sleep anyway, so what's the fucking matter?
I got issues too. I had issues. And it's not the caffeine. It's not the caffeine.
No. But so I would drink a cup of coffee, like a big tumbler, like a thermos tumbler full of coffee, two monsters, and then come lunchtime, the guys, I'd be like, "Hey, you guys going out of the compound for lunch?" Because we were in a compound, we had a gate and everything. You had to drive out, and then it was like the rest of the base was out here. And I'm like, "So you guys going out for lunch?" And they're like, "Yeah, why? You want us to get you something?" I was like, "No, I just want to know if I could curl up on the couch so you guys turn the light off."
Take a little nap.
My office, a Connex box. I was like, I was gonna curl up and take a nap. The wife's pregnant, I ain't getting a lot of sleep. And they're like, How are you gonna be able to sleep?
Oh yeah. I went through sleep paralysis for years. I still get it, but I went through probably 4 years where it was like toxic, like really, really bad, like chronically. And I would have to take naps during the day because I didn't sleep at night. And I'm talking about for 1 year, I didn't sleep at all. Not one night did I sleep because I couldn't. Like as soon as I shut my eyes, I think it was my stress levels were just like on another level. And so as soon as I closed my eyes, I would go paralyzed, even though I'm wide awake. And
weird
sleep paralysis. Yeah, and it was so bad. Like I can't even explain how bad it was. I'd have people on top of me with my eyes open looking at me, and they'd be fucking slapping me, trying to wake me up, and my head just going back and forth. And I'm wide awake, but I can't move.
Yeah. I've got a buddy that has sleep paralysis, but he has the night terrors with the sleep paralysis.
Me too.
He sees aliens and all kinds of stuff. And he goes, "It's not really happening." He's like, "But I can't do anything about it." It's like demons crawling out of the TV and shit. I'm like, dude. And he looked at me and he's like, "It'd kill you." And I was like, "Yeah, I already got PTSD, bro. I don't need anything on top of that. That would be." I'd be like,
I told a story one time where I was in jail, and I fucking I was coming off of all kinds of shit, and I was like 4 days clean, but coming off of a lot of stuff, and I wound up getting locked up. I rolled a car on the highway doing about 95 miles an hour, fucking was upside down, crawled out, fucking wound up lying to the cops about who I was, all kinds of shit. Anyways, wound up going to jail because I had an extensive warrant, like a really bad warrant. And no, I know, no, not that. But I wound up going to jail. And when I went to jail, now, you can't smoke cigarettes, right? So I'm coming off.
Oh, really? You can't?
No. And they don't give you e-cigarettes or nothing. So you wind up going through nicotine withdrawals too. So now I'm not only withdrawing, I'm going through nicotine withdrawals too. I started hallucinating in jail. Holy shit. You want to talk about another fucking world, bro. Like right now, my memory of being there is like, I couldn't even tell you. Like it was crazy. But yeah. It's just the mind is crazy what it can do.
I got a buddy that worked construction. All right, Ron, you take it easy. This has been fun. We're just hanging out. And Jared's
we're gonna be taking off.
Jared's on his own schedule. We're just doing this because I know that there was a bunch of people that weren't done hanging out.
And we're still going live tomorrow night.
I still had one more beer, so I figured I'd drink that. And I bought the big silver ones because that's all they had. To tell you the truth.
Sure.
I'm sending myself a video, and I'm going to send you this video.
Honey, why'd you get the big bottle? It's all they had.
Right? It's cheaper. Like when you look at it, when you buy the big one, it's cheaper by the ounce, right?
I forgot I had court and took acid the night before. That would be a bad court day.
Jake was telling me about that. I'll tell you a story about taking acid in high school because I had a friend that was an asshole. So I dropped acid with a friend of mine, and we went to a party, and I'm like, it's hitting. I can feel it coming up my spine. I can feel my head growing and shit. I'm like, oh, this is bad. This is bad. That was who knows who knows who was counting how many drops went on each little piece. And so I'm sitting there, and he goes and he gets a pair of those mirrored aviators, and he comes in, he goes, and I'm like, sorry, son of a. He's an asshole. I'm trying to find this video. I'm gonna send it to myself, and we'll put it up and play it. You can attest.
Continued. That's always a good thing when you go up to court, and then it just gets continued. That's all you do. You just walk up, and then just continue it. It's like, oh, thank God.
I'm trying to find this. I got to see if this is the right one. Hang on a second. You can talk to him for a second. I'm gonna mute my mic. So I want to.
Unless if you've been fighting a case for months or something, but a lot of times it's nice just walking in and getting it just continued, because then you have. Sometimes it's nice because the longer it takes, the better off you will be in the end. But sometimes it's just nice because you're not prepared, you're not ready, or whatever, and yeah. Or, like him on fucking acid. That's a bad way to go to court. Oh, man. Do you like the Socom or DOC better for self-defense? Socom, in my opinion. I mean, I like the Socom. I think the Socom is it's great for a lot of things. I think it's I think that's like, in my opinion, I know like a Terzola is like a real tactical knife, but I think a Socom is an actual good example of what a tactical knife is.
I find it. I got to figure out how to actually share it.
What is it?
I sent myself a video. Here you go. You guys ready for this?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hey, boss man. Hey, so we got a small problem.
What do you mean we got a problem? And it's not even lunch yet. I mean, all y'all guys had to do today was dig a trench. I mean, how do you fuck that up?
Well, I mean, we dug the trench. I mean, like, we dug the hole. It's there. But, who was in charge of calling the 811 dig number?
Well, I called them, and they came out yesterday. They sprayed everything on the ground, and there was nothing near where we were going to dig. Well, did you hit something?
Oh, yeah. We definitely hit something. They were way off on the fucking survey, son. Pablo calls it spicy dirt.
And what exactly is spicy dirt?
You can see it.
It's electric.
You can feel
I've seen
it.
that before.
Ooh, it's shaking.
It's electric.
Tell me that doesn't tell me. Like, I've worked construction. That shit happens we were talking about that in the actual live feed. Holy crap, Jeremy! Shopcat's walked in twice. I was trying to get Shopcat to come over.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Well, Jeremy, I'll run this for a while, but like my wife's eventually going to get upset.
Hearing all the dings. The fuck is that noise out there?
What are you doing? I was like, I told her, it's like every time you hear a ding, you need to say thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Because I currently am unable to work. I talked with my doctor today.
Ken Long keeps asking the same question about do you like the Socom or the DOC better for self-defense?
For me, I personally like the DOC better. It's just
I like
because,
the Socom.
It's because the fact is I've owned a DOC for a lot of years.
I've never had DOC, so
comfortable with it. So
I'm comfortable with the Socom. It is, but like you were talking about earlier, what you have, what you like. It's kind of like the whole thing. Like, what's your best self-defense firearm? The one you know best, right? The one you're comfortable with.
I will say that the fact is this leaves me. I like the Socom Delta, but the hand grips and things that are available on the DOC, which is why I bought this. I had a whale shark too, which is real similar to this, but this is more that Strider style handle, and I find it like more utilitarian. And the fact is, with the way that's set, like a snap cut and things with that are great. Just because of the shape of it.
Damn it, I need that hoodie, Jared. I'm going to order. Yeah, these things are badass. They fit really good too.
Bobby has already said he's going to be on the show, so I'm gonna have him. I'll have him.
I'm trying to get a complex on mine.
Hey, when you talk to him, let him know. I want to try and get him on mine too.
Okay.
I just haven't had a chance to reach out to him because, like I said, I'm booked all the way out to I think because Dan Sullivan from DSK said he'd do it. I think he's going to do either the Wednesday, the 25th.
I think Ken Wong is just spamming at this point.
Say what?
I think Ken Wong is just spamming at this point. He's asked that question 100 times. I keep answering it, and I'm not answering it no more.
We'll just put him in timeout for a minute. I think he'll get it. Or it could be because some guys, their phones. I've had some guys tell me that their phones just keep sending the same thing over and over.
Oh yeah, maybe he's not trying to, but
I put him in timeout, and I just thought about it because I was like, oh, I'll put him in timeout.
Are they still making the DLC? They're not making the DLC no more, are they?
No, they don't make the DOC anymore.
Right, but they do make the Socom. You just can't get one. Well, you can if you're military
or retired. Like
Zach's in here. What's up, Zach?
Oh shit, Zach showed up. Oh shit, son.
No, I didn't cut myself again. I'm good.
I ain't gonna lie, I cut myself here not too long ago.
I did that video at work, flipping that knife. Everybody thought I got cut doing that. I got cut on a conveyor cleaning it.
Yeah, sure you did.
I did. I mean, if I cut myself with a knife, I don't care. I'll say it.
Did you guys get to see my comment? I was like, I said, Jared, how did I cut myself? And I said, also Jared, and it pointed up to him flipping the knife.
Yeah, I got a bunch of comments on that, but yeah, I mean, can you really trust somebody without at least one cut on their hand? No. I mean, if they run a knife channel, I mean, you got to have something.
You know what?
I've got battle wound, something.
You know that the thing that I can't trust someone. It has nothing to do with sweaty palms or anything. I have a tendency to not trust someone if like I shake hands with them and they're all like really weak. Being me, I have to moderate. Like I have to consciously moderate how I shake someone's hand because I'll grab someone's hand and give them a shake. They're like, motherfucker, I need that.
Right. And you always know when you shake someone's hand and you can tell if they're a worker or not. You can
it's soft hands. They don't have any calluses and shit. Like
you just roasted up, didn't you, baby?
Bro, why don't you come over to Porta Potty with me and we're gonna just Oh,
but yeah, with knife channels, if you have a knife channel, you're gonna get cut.
Oh, I've got. Well, you guys see me do live sharpening on recurves on 1/2-inch stones in the palm, and my friends are like, I hate watching that. Like, cause it's
in the camera, it looks like you're literally. This is what it looks like. It looks like this.
But yeah, and, I use those Edge Pros.
So
I use those Edge Pro stones in my hand, and it's basically like what you just showed.
yeah, I know. And in the camera, it's like, and especially like sometimes you'll be getting it really fast, so it's like, man, it's like
But the one that really
yourself.
The one that really unnerves people is I've done it for so long, and I've done it the same way for so I don't look like I'm not watching. There's a lot of times I'll be talking to you guys on live feed, and I'm doing this, and people are like, "Would you please look at the knife?" Please, it makes me nervous.
As long as you have a firm handshake, I wouldn't worry about how your handshake is. You know if you got a bad handshake. If you fucking shake somebody's hand and you always get the front of it, you got a bad handshake.
Yeah.
You have to get in all the way, well, I can't do it to myself, but all the way to the groove, get around and get a good firm. Not you don't want to break their hand, but a nice firm handshake.
I measured we were talking about it in a live feed one time, Jared. I think that's before you really started watching my channel a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing a live feed, and somebody asked me, I was like, okay, you talk about working out, like how big are your forearms? And my wife and I measured my forearms, and it was when I was still wrenching and digging. And
you mean around, or you're talking about around?
How big my forearms are, like from like around my forearm. We measured it. It was like 13 and a half inch forearms. And I was like, some guys were like, my biceps aren't even that goddamn big.
After the firm shake, do you then go for the half a hug? Yes, I do. Sometimes I do. I'm not
a hugs kind of guy.
If I know you, I definitely do.
There's one guy that will always get a hug from me because I'm not a big hugs kind of guy. Like, I mean, to tell you the truth, as I love my daughter to death, I might hug my daughter once a week. And the reason it took so long for me to come back, I was telling my daughter goodnight. But I'm not a big hugs guy. It's just like my dad wasn't. I grew up like it's not a guy. Like hugs weren't a guy thing.
I get it. No, I won't do like so like with.
But there's one guy.
There's one guy.
Every time I go to a knife show, if I see Bob Tarzola, I gotta give him a hug. That big panda bear looking bastard. I just want to give him a hug every time I see him.
Well, like I was just about to say the like certain like family members. No, like I'm like certain ones, like the females, yeah. But like when I run into people on the streets, like I shake up with them. Like I don't even do a regular handshake. I shake up with them and give them the old pat on, but that's just like, I know it's not just a Chicago thing, but it's just a normal like thing you do like with homies on the streets. But like if I meet just a man somewhere, no, I'm giving him a regular fucking handshake, a man-to-man handshake.
I don't even know if
I had a buddy when I was a kid, and his uncle was 6'8" Turkish guy, and he always squeezed your hand and look you in the eye and laugh as he cracked every bone in your finger.
You want to hear something funny? And I've said this before. I am like the smallest male on my mother's side of the family.
Oh wow.
Like my grandfather was my height when he was in his 80s, and everybody told me he was like 6'6" when he joined the Navy. Wow. And I go to these reunions, and I've got great uncles that were like 6'7", 6'6", 6'5", and I show up to family reunions, and people are like, "Oh, look, the little guy showed up." I'm like, guys, I'm still well above average height.
Right,
I'm a little guy.
I think I think it's 5'8" is America's average height.
Yeah. I've got some cousins that are like 7. I got one cousin that's like 7'3", 7'4", something like that. Big, pasty white dude. 7'3", can't even dribble a basketball. I'm like, what a fucking waste. Like of all the things, like you can't even play basketball.
I used to work with a guy who was 7 foot and like 450 pounds, just a giant, straight giant. And I actually watched him get into a fight with this little black dude, and because the big dude was a big ass white dude, bald head, just massive Goliath, and we were working at a nursing home together because I worked at a nursing home for like a year and a half, 2 years, and yeah, that was hilarious because the dude was like 5'4" that he fought.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. Hey, come here, Shop Cat. Shop Cat's here.
Emler can show that face. You can show yours.
I'm not gonna lie to you. The worst ass whooping I ever got was from a little dude. Hey,
yeah, I've I said something like that before too, but I've gotten to some fights with some really big dudes that they got the best of me. But yeah, I told a story one time about this little dude, and I've said this too. Like some of the toughest guys I ever fought were the smaller dudes. They're usually small,
So
wide,
fast.
stocky, because they're lower to the ground and wide. And I got into this one fight. I got into a bunch of different fights with dudes, but this one particular one, I won the fight, but I almost didn't. And it scared me because he was so fucking powerful. And when he got a hold of me, it was like there was almost nothing I could do, like to get rid of his grip. I finally wound up grabbing him. I threw him up in the air and I dropped him on his head. An ambulance had to come get him, but I thought he was going to get me because I couldn't get him off of me. It was like everything I was doing, I was just fighting him off of me. And then finally I said, fuck it. And I scooped him up and I threw him up in the air and I slammed him on his head. And then, he wound up getting picked up by the ambulance. But no, he was powerful, very powerful.
Shopcat has decided that my wife is the place to be. Shopcat runs in the house and hops on my spot at the kitchen table.
Little guy with the quick hands. I couldn't remember your info.
That's what happened. So the worst ass whooping I ever got was from a little dude, and it was just because he was so quick. Mm-hmm. It wasn't that he was squat and powerful and this was a skinny, short little dude, and I just and the thing was at the time I'm going through puberty. I'd wake up one day and one arm was longer than the other and shit. Like I didn't know what to do with my body. I got to fight with this kid because I was way bigger, and I'm like I'm gonna kick and the next thing I know. Like I just couldn't even every time I'd swing, he just wasn't there, and I just
that's the one advantage I always had. Like when boxing and stuff is I'm very fast. I'm definitely fast, and I've always been skinny and tall, but so I've always had like length on my arms and fast, and I took boxing and everything, so I'm really good at jabbing and moving but I've been fucked up by big dudes though. I remember this one dude I got into a fight with, and I went after him, and it was like I didn't do anything. It was like fighting Andre the Giant, like literally. Like I felt like memory right now. I feel like I was a little shrimp hanging onto his fucking leg, trying to wrestle with his leg, because he just grabbed me and just fucking ragdolled the shit out of me. And there was nothing I could do. There was nothing, and I went after him. So it wasn't like he started the fight. I started the fight, and I got my fucking ass handed to me.
Well, my friends all told this kid. I mean, he no joke. He kicked the shit out of me. Like I was like, all right, you win. Like it gets to the point where he's swarming me. And I'm like, all right, you win. I'm done.
Like swatting bees.
I give up. And he hit me a couple more times. I was like, you won. I quit. I give up. I'm done. And
stop stinging me.
So all of my friends were like, dude, that's pretty good. He's like, but you know what? If he had gotten you once, you'd have been fucked. I'll tell you what, I mentioned it. I got in a fight with a dude that I thought was a Marine. Turned out he was a SEAL.
Ooh, yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, that was bad. That was a bad one. And right there, that's that moment that feels like that's that 1 second of your life that feels like it's 5 days long. And you're like, I have fucked up. I may not come out of this one with a win. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to be lucky if I come out of this one alive.
I had a principal, and don't ask me why, but he was a Navy SEAL. And now he was a principal for whatever reason. I don't know. And there was this one kid, and he wound up going to the office, and he threw a punch at dude. Threw a swing. And what happened was the cops were in the office. The police were there. And he they were going to search him for whatever reason, so he went there, and he was refusing to let them, and he wound up fighting off like 2 or 3 cops and getting the better of them, and then he turned to the principal and took a swing at him, and the principal grabbed him up and threw him through the wall. Then the principal brings me to the office because he wants to make an example of me, like with that hole. So he made sure to bring me to the office and show me the hole. You know what I mean? Like trying to like, say, like start something, motherfucker. You're going through there too. I thought it was funny as shit. A drunk guy showed up at the school and he beat that dude's ass too. A drunk dude showed up at the school. I don't know why, but he showed up at the school and he was trying to tell the dude he had to wait for the police because he was gonna get him arrested, you know, for being on the school property drunk. And dude tried to like leave, and the principal grabbed his like the back of his shoulder, and dude went to swing at him when he turned around, and yeah, that fucking principal fucking dropped him so fast. It was like it didn't like there was nothing he could do. He was a little badass.
Hey guys, I actually lucked out, and I have a customer that sent me some things, so we can thank Daniel for this. And I think I've sharpened some stuff for him before. Daniel sent me some knives that I own the actual OG version of. These are this is a Ferrum Forge Fortis 2.0. I'm gonna do some comparison videos between the ones that I own, the OG Fortis versus the Fortis 2.0.
You've handled the Malice before, right?
Yeah.
I have the Malice, and I'm thinking about doing a flipper delete and sending it to BGM Knives and having him do a regrind on it.
I can do the flipper. I can do the flipper delete.
I can do the flipper delete, but I'm gonna have him do that deep hollow grind that he does. That he's been doing on these regrinds, and it would probably be like 10 thousandths behind the edge.
I would be careful with a flipper delete on the Malice. There's a couple of those knives that like you got to be careful because the flipper is so close to the lock bar.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
That's
like,
the one thing I'm worried about is how it's going to land.
The Malice is one. The Crux is another one. I had a guy ask because he had somebody put a Spidey hole in a Crux. And he asked me if I could do a flipper delete. I was like, you know what? It's so close.
Right, because the pin is like right there, right next to the. Yeah, I know what you mean.
And people are like, well, the lock bar interface is so big. And I was like, you think that. But like, if you were to put a black magic marker on that, you'd see that there's usually one tiny little spot where that lock bar is actually interfacing. Everybody seems to think that the entire lock bar touches.
No, yeah.
It doesn't. It's just one little tiny spot.
The edge, yeah. Just like at the corner.
Yeah,
even though the whole thing will be underneath. But it's just literally just right there. It's just like literally just.
It's just surprising that you get that kind of a lock and that kind of stability with such a tiny point of pressure. Now I've had some knives that's the whole thing. I've had some knives that's the whole thing, and usually those are knives where you get a lot of stick. The more surface area, the more stick.
I agree. And you can usually tell because when it unsticks, you can actually see where it grips. And yeah, it seems like the more contact. Or bigger. What's up,
Jake? They're not there anymore. They no longer have a shop in Kearney Mesa.
Oh.
You're gonna have to get them online because Elliot now works from home.
Yeah, John Sergil. Yeah, that's why I want to get the Malice done because I've seen a bunch of them. Like I've tried 2 or 3 of his regrinds now of knives, and he does such a good job, such a clean job with it.
The Malice really isn't very thick.
No, it's not. It's just it cuts great. I just want it done, just because.
The Malice.
I don't even know if I'm gonna. I just might.
The Malice is basically a beefier, angrier Archbishop, and that's why he was like, "Well, I had the Archbishop, and what happens when you get an Archbishop mad? You get a little bit of Malice." And I'm like, "Fair enough."
There you go.
I love this. I have to say, this is one of my favorite knives.
If I like the 0640, that is supposed to be here tomorrow. It will be going to BGM for a regrind. Yeah, he's been getting a lot of business from me. I actually talked to him last week, and he told me that he's gotten a shit ton of business from some of my videos. Everybody keeps asking me who can do regrinds. I keep
That's good. Right I mean, I can do
regrinds. Modders are doing flat grinds though, just so you guys know. Really good ones, it looks like.
Who is?
Knife modders. They're going to be on your show.
I'm going to start doing some for people if they don't mind just like a 220 grit. So with me not being able to get up to Elliot's shop, I have no way of doing anything but just like a 220 satin.
I think that's
I can't tumble. I can't do any of that stuff.
I personally would want more like a 220 because I want the aggressive lines. I don't want it to be a shiny, fingerprinty satin finish. I want the aggressive lines of a low grit. I think that looks the best.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem doing it for people. People just gotta, they gotta be patient and stuff like this. Right now, I wanted to work on that knife. I was going to try and do a custom. I'm trying to do that custom stonefish.
Mm-hmm.
There's something wrong with the outside outlets. The landlord's got a guy coming here in a week or two. Every time
right there. Sorry, go ahead.
Every time I try to run my grinder, it trips the main. It shuts the whole house off. And I'm like, and he's like, no. He's like, that's not right. It shouldn't be doing that. But the only place I can remember, I can't. Like somebody was like, I just put your grinder in the garage. I was like, my wife does laundry in here. Do you know how much metal dust? Like,
right.
No.
Right. Especially if you're going to keep doing it.
And the fact is, I've set the garage up. Yes, my shop is out here and everything, but we also don't have a TV in the living room. So technically this is our living room. Like when my daughter wants to watch a movie with me, we do it out here in the garage. I had a question for you, sir. How are you faring there in South Africa with the whole world coming down around your ankles? Are you okay? You safe? Just worried. Hadn't talked to you in a while.
3 top USA, probably Holt. Like if you're talking about production or like mid-tech, like I would say like probably Holt, Koenig, and maybe Sharp by Design. That's probably,
that's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, Sharp by Design. That's
Brian
Nadeau. Yeah.
I'm trying to get. I haven't talked to you
so expensive.
Yeah, but I mean,
let's just go with his React builds. His React builds you can get for a reasonable price, but then that's not USA made.
Dude, there's just something there is something about his handmade ones. The one, I mean, I know they're CNC, but the ones that he makes in house, man, there's something about them. They are just. I bet.
I can imagine.
Never gotten a handle on?
No, only the React ones.
I'll see if Nico still has his. Nico has one that's handmade. There's just it's like these.
Yeah.
So like I've had the production ones and they're great. They're really good.
I bet that detent nub system is.
But there's just something about the way the boys tune it and the time it takes them to do it and all that stuff. That the in-house Ferrum Forges are just, they have a sound, they have a feel. It's just different than the production. Almost like they have a soul. Like there's just more to them.
I know what you mean. Yeah, Spartan's really good. TRM's really good. I love both of them. All right, Patina. But yeah, I do like Spartan a lot. That's another one. I think I'm possibly going to, when I get the one back from you, I might possibly throw in a large finger choil on that and send that for a regrind. I was literally on the fence between like 4 knives.
I wouldn't. You know what? I wouldn't regrind. I wouldn't regrind that knife. Like, I mean, I can understand why you would, but there's just something.
It's a thick boy.
You seen a TRM with a 12,000?
Oh, you got my TRM too.
Yeah, this came in from a customer. This came.
I'm talking with the shadow. What do you think about that shadow?
I try until I pull it out and actually the reason it takes so long is I do a first impressions and then that's what I carry. So what's out on my counter, and I started to film it before we did this today. It's I'm getting that. The last knife I have from you is that Asher Spyro or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's the last knife from that first box.
Yep.
And so your gift is in the case for the hinderer.
Okay.
Your titanium machinist rule.
Yeah. I could definitely use that.
But yeah, I do one knife and then I carry it for a few days and I do another first impression for the next one. And so
you're honest about it.
Well, yeah, but it takes a long time because I don't
carry every single knife I review. I actually carry, and I know a lot of, and I'm not talking shit about no reviewer. I don't give a shit what they do, but a lot of reviewers don't carry the knives. They literally open them up on their table, and they're reviewing them right when they open them.
You saw the video
for 6
weeks. For the Elementum. I actually had to give your Elementum a run on my ceramic because I had actually managed to chip it. Like it's 14C, so it touched right back up like 2 passes. I'm like, it's gone.
Beauty. That's the beauty. But yeah, you can usually tell too, like when somebody's like, if it's in front of the camera and they're literally just naming the things that are right in front of it, and because they're seeing it too for like not for the first time, but you know what I mean. Like when you test a knife, usually you talk about those things, like how it feels in the hand, how it cuts, the geometry, how it feels going through things, how it carries in the pocket. But when you're just naming like the things you can see, right? Like literally the visual things, you can tell, which is no problem because a lot of people want to know that stuff. But
yeah, like if you watch mine, I'm like, I even went to like, which one was it I did not long ago that I liked the knife, but like I said something about the choil not being substantial enough, and I pointed out you can see the shiny spot where it had already been hitting the stones. Those are the things I look for. Like those are the functional things.
Me too, because that's how a knife's gonna last. How long is it? Yeah, it's not gonna hurt it functionally, but it's gonna look like shit, and then it's gonna it could damage your stones.
Exactly. I've got some knives that came in. I did a couple Spydercos for a customer. He goes, "No, I don't want to choil." I'm like, "I'm going to charge you extra." And he goes, "What?" And I was like, "If you won't let me, I'll cut the choil in for free."
Right.
I'm going to charge you extra. And he's like, "Why?" I was like, "Because I'm going to tell you right now, like I'm going to chip the fuck out of my stones with that hard ass fucking Spyderco plunge."
Yeah.
That uneven square ass sharp plunge. That's not really a plunge. It's just like
we sharpen differently, so I don't really have that issue but we sharpen different. But I see exactly why you have that issue. And same thing with me with regular plunge grinds that go all the way down to the edge. It's like if I want to get to that edge, well, guess what? I'm hitting the plunge, and now there's a big smile. It chips my stone. It looks like shit. And literally, and I say this all the time. You take a knife that's brand new that could possibly have a beautiful edge and look like it's worth more money, but no, you have a knife that looks like now it's used and abused and old, and now like it just lost value because you have a huge smile on it. And you could have a clean, nice, perfect mirror edge or whatever edge, and it would look beautiful and could sell for the same amount of money.
Like that, like just
beautiful.
Bring it up just a little. That's all it takes. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of relief.
Plunge grind. It's just that plunge grind should not go all the way down to the edge like Medford. He's known for that shit. I'm going to show you right here. He is known for where he just brings this plunge all the way down to right to the edge. It's like, but I know he's doing these by hand, like the hollow grind. So I kind of understand a little more. And there are some companies where it's a little more forgiving.
That's why I was really happy. I was able to find one of the newer. Norseman's that has a sharpening choil, and I'm probably going to open that up slightly, just ever so slightly, because even though they did a really good job on it, like I use the 1/2 inch stones, and their plunge isn't real hard. It's a nice soft plunge, so it's not smacking. But what I don't want to get into the plunge because I love this knife. Like I don't want to detract from the aesthetics of it. So if I open that plunge up like a millimeter, it'll be perfect.
Right, just enough to get you by. I think this is like the best it could be right there, where you see the plunge as far away from
is that the new Alien?
Yeah, the prototype. It's a mini one though. It's small. This is a small knife. Like you see my hand in it.
I really wished that I could have gotten like just the size, and it's 100% the size of my hands versus the size of the handle. Yeah, it put it in a weird angle. I had another knife that came in that was same thing. Like when I cut, I want to be able to cut and have it be a straight line with my wrist. Yeah, and I've had a couple knives that I get them, and then they're not a straight line. They're like canted off, like, and you're like, I can't address the cut the way I want. And like I said, for me, a knife is a tool, and if it's a detriment to me being able to do what I want, then I'm not going to use it.
Right.
So
it's kind of like holding a hammer, and if it's not if it's not round in the handle, and it's
like I told you I bought that Husky 20-ounce hammer, same weight, but the way the handle was, I was like, that feels horrible. Yeah. And I have that E-swing with the nice narrow neck, and all the weight is in the right spot, and it's the right size handle. It's great.
Well, you always seem to appreciate, like if I laid 5 knives on your table, right, and every time you needed to go cut your recycling or some ropes, you grab the same 1 or 2 knives. Those are the ones you're going to appreciate, right? Yeah. There's always going to be one that you're going to leave last on the table. Always. There's always going to be one you're going to leave last on the table. And that one, you might love it. You might not want to sell it. but you're not going to appreciate it as much as the one that you want to grab every time. Top 3 or
I know
4?
3. So I have Emerson Roadhouse, Benchmade Griptilian. I know Mike loves all of those. I'm seriously thinking about
I like the Griptilian, so
I do too. Like if I was going to buy a Benchmade, like if I had to, like oh, you got to buy a Benchmade. I'm going to buy a Griptilian. They're not a bad knife.
Such a good knife, man. And the ergos, because it's it's fat, you know, so it's so comfortable, and it's a robust blade while still being able to slice good.
Have you ever gotten to see the Gecko Mini?
No.
Oh, dude, that steel
Gecko Mini.
No joke. That is like. I was really, really impressed.
What is that?
It's a steel wheel. It's a steel wheel.
Okay.
I did a video about it. It's just a backlock, and but it's an N690 CO.
Okay.
And the action on it was super smooth. Jake sent it to me for sharpening, and I did a video about it. I really like that knife, and for I think it was $199 was the price I saw for it. It's a great, great knife. My Carta scales, they're contoured well. And the fact is, like, it's truly ambidextrous because it's a backlock.
Yeah.
Backlock, and you can thumb flick it. It's really, really a really good knife.
Backlock, and you can thumb flick it?
Yeah.
Nice
and smooth. Super, super smooth for a
These EMPs, man, this thing's actually pretty cool.
That's the one I told you I wanted to get to see. Yeah, I really like
small, but with the choil, you can get a full grip. But back here, yeah, it's small. But if you,
I just like the look of it. I love that.
Good looker. It's so fidgety too.
Yeah,
that works really good.
That's the same one I saw on. That's the same one I saw on Metal Complex's channel. That was like, I kind of really want to see that.
Lefty, you can still do it, but yeah, it is a good looking knife, and this frag pattern's really nice. All types. A lot of people got the Timascus clip. This one's just the plain tie, but
how is that pocket clip? Is it hot spot?
It's actually really well in the hand. Well, because I always use the choil, so it don't bother me. If I wasn't using the choil, then yeah, it's not no good. But using the choil, it's great because it just falls right in the pocket. But in and out of the pocket, it's great. But yeah, you can feel that it's built very well. You can feel the quality.
I like that aperture, how they sculpted it out in front of it, or in front and behind it, so it kind of contours. It kind of reminds me of what was the Rockstead that had that kind of a sculpted? Is that the?
Oh, I know what you're talking. You're talking about that one that looks like a graph, like a map.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of the name of it, but that thing looks. Looking at pictures of that thing, it's crazy looking. That CNC work is insane.
They had one, but Rockstead had a shin. Rockstead had that same thing on the shin. The Rockstead shin, which is their big, like their flagship.
Right. Well, it looks like a topical graph.
No. Well, I'm telling you. So this one has. Hang on a second. I'll pull it up.
I can tell you somebody on Instagram that has one with a crazy ano, and holy shit, does it look good. It's knife addiction or something like that. It is like one of the best looking churros I've ever seen, and it is so good looking. Let's see if I can find him.
I'm pulling it up right now.
I'm just seeing if I can find this one dude. Is there something?
Yeah, see, that's what I was talking about. See how it has.
Okay. So I'm talking about basically the same thing, except for it has like a topical graph on it. Man, I can't think.
If I was gonna buy a Rockstead, that would be the one. I would buy the shin, but I just.
If you've seen this one, man, this thing is. Oh man, I wonder if I can.
Are you talking about Jim Skelton? Because Jake's saying Jim Skelton did it.
I
didn't brush my beard, and it's all tangled up.
Yeah, find it.
Well, you go ahead and look for it.
You know what? Here. Well, the one dude that I know, he's got one that where it's a crazy ano. This thing is not gonna.
Jake, I know what you're talking about. The one he did is like 7 years ago.
You're not gonna be able to see it on the screen. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see it on the screen, but it's just, it basically looks like it's got like this. If you can, I don't know if that'll come up or
Oh
not.
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, there's another one that's done like that, but even better. And it's like a 3D graph. And when they put the anal work on there, it is insane looking. Oh, here's one that kind of has it done. You showing me us?
Yeah.
Here it is right here, actually, but look at that.
I didn't know that when you brought up your page, your live feed showed it like actually what's going on.
Yeah. Do you see
Oh,
that?
okay. Yeah.
But it looks crazy when you see it in real life. Yeah, I was actually watching it on the other thing because I was watching like how many people and everything. I am spending $1,300 on a knife. I'm buying 3 Hinders or a Jake Hoback. Hell yeah!
I don't like Jake Hoback knives as much.
I want to try 2 of them. So
I had somebody gifted me stuff. He's like, use them for the channel, do whatever, do them as giveaways. And I got the Hoback Quayback. I traded the Quayback for this. I traded the Quayback for this and cash.
Okay.
So my Chavez and cash.
Nice.
So hey, did you check this out? I did this the other day. You ready for this? Have you tried this? Because I'm tipsy enough that I'm like 3 beers in. Okay, so watch this. Did you know that you can share the screen that you're currently doing? And if you share it, it turns into like that infinite window.
Oh wow! No, I did not know that.
I was like, that is. I did it just playing around, and I was like, well, that's weird.
I've never seen that.
No, this is not an original Chavez. This is an Ultramar Street. This is the first run he did with React. So this is the smaller version, and I thought I wanted an original one, and I thought I wanted the so what he did the 228. So the 229 was the full size version of this that he did through React was the 229, because the 228 was his mid tech that he did through Chavez American Made, which doesn't exist anymore. It's now just Chavez knives. And so this was the Ultramar Street, which is sized down version. And I actually like this better. As much as I thought I wanted the big, like 228, 229 size one, this is the one I like better.
Yeah, we all need a lot of knives. I think I'm going to take off. We've been going for about 4 hours. I'm fucking starving. All right, guys.
I got to get my wife's laundry out of the thing.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight.
Guys, if you haven't dropped a like on the way out, I'm probably, like I said, we're going to do the video on Monday. The following Monday, which would be the 23rd.
Great knife, Jake. Sorry,
I'm definitely not doing the podcast on the 29th or the 23rd because I get my second dose of the Fauci ouchie. I know how crappy I felt after the first one because I have an autoimmune disorder. I'm definitely going to feel worse on the second one, so I'm not even going to try and do one. But I'll let you guys know what the schedule looks like. Jared, thanks for hanging out. You didn't have to hang out for the second one. I was going to do this by myself.
I had a great time, man. Thank you.
I did too. Guys, one of the only channels that I watch religiously, and you can ask Jared, like we talk pretty much daily.
Yeah, we do.
So it doesn't have to be competition.
That's why 4 hours is nothing for us.
Yeah, like it's just bullshit. This is just like a Tuesday for us.
All right.
All right, guys, I'm going to end this. I love you all. Take it easy. If you drop money, thank you very much for the shekels you put in my pocket. My wife appreciates it, whether she says it or not. You guys take it easy. See you later. Drop a like on your way out.
Later.
Oh, shit. I forgot you got to hit it twice.